Fair use. Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. August 11th. Removing the ground glass. The moral inventory is a cool examination of the damages that occurred to us during life and a sincere effort to look at them in a true perspective. This has the effect of taking the ground glass out of us, the emotional substance that still cuts and inhibits, as Bill sees it, page 140. My 8th step list used to drag me into a whirlpool of resentment. After 4 years of sobriety, I was blocked by denial, connected with an ongoing abusive relationship. The argument between fear and pride eased as the words of the step moved from my head to my heart. For the first time in years, I opened my box of paints and poured out an honest rage, an explosion of reds and blacks and yellows. As I looked at the drawing, tears of joy and relief flowed down my cheeks. In my disease, I had given up my art, a self-inflicted punishment far greater than any imposed from outside. In my recovery, I learned that the pain of my defects is the very substance God uses to cleanse my character and set me free. Courage to Change One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, August 11th. When I feel I just can't face the world and want nothing more than to bury my head under the covers and hide, I know I need an Al-Anon meeting. I may have to push myself out the door, but I always feel better and saner when I break the isolation and reach out for help. I usually feel relief the minute I walk into an Al-Anon room, even if it's a meeting I've never attended before. I find a healing, comforting power in these rooms, a power greater than myself. And because my higher power speaks through other people, I often hear exactly what I need. We all go through periods of sadness, lethargy, and grief. That's part of life. But depression can become a habit that perpetuates itself unless I intercede by acting on my own behalf. Al-Anon cannot solve every problem, and if depression lingers, I may want to consider seeking professional help. But more often than not, what I need to do is bring my body to an Al-Anon meeting. I know that no matter how I feel, when I take an action to get some help, I make myself available to the higher power in these rooms. Today's reminder. When in doubt, I will go to an Al-Anon meeting and invite my higher power to do for me what I cannot do for myself. There is a quote from In All Our Affairs, and it reads, "There are times when I have to hurt through a situation, and when this happens, the choice is not whether to hurt or not to hurt, but what to do while I'm hurting." Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, August 11. Active listening. Through active listening, we hear things that work for us. Most of us arrived in Narcotics Anonymous with a very poor ability to listen. And that comes from the basic text, page 106 to 107. Most of us arrived in Narcotics Anonymous with a very poor ability to listen. But to take full advantage of the therapeutic value of one addict helping another, we must learn to listen actively. What is active listening for us? In meetings, it means we concentrate on what the speaker is sharing while the speaker is sharing. We set aside our own thoughts and opinions until the meeting is over. That's when we sort through what we've heard to decide which ideas we want to use and which we want to explore further. We can apply our active listening skills in sponsorship too. Newcomers often talk with us about some major event in their lives. While such events may not seem significant to us, they are to the newcomer who has little experience living life on life's terms. Our active listening helps us empathize with the feelings such events trigger in our sponsee's life. With that understanding, we have a better idea of what to share with them. The ability to listen actively was unknown to us in the isolation of our addiction. Today, this ability helps us actively engage with our recovery. Through active listening, we receive everything being offered in NA, and we share fully with others the love and care we've been given. Just for today, I will strive to be an active listener. I will practice active listening when others share and when I share with others. Today, Emotions Anonymous, August 11th. Reflection for today. The program teaches me to take care of myself. In the old days, I was self-destructive. Now I care for my own well-being and nurture myself. If I am tired, I take time to rest or sleep. If I am lonely, I call a friend. I say no to people-pleasing. If someone wants me to do something I know would be harmful to me, I do not do it. I do not expect others to read my mind. When I need care, I take the responsibility for myself. Meditation for today. If I slip back into my old ways, help me to remember I can be responsible for myself with your help. Today, I will remember no one can care for me like I can care for myself. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. August 11th. True self. While the inner child or true self can be the spark of our creativity, we must also remember the child is a deeply hurt part of ourselves. BRB, page 303. Many of us have pursued an understanding of our true self, awakening our inner child and expressing our creativity in hopes of relieving ourselves from suffering. Yet we face an obstacle, a persistent and harsh self-judgment that we can't seem to stop. This underlying thinking compels us to continue dysfunctional and addictive behaviors. We wonder why we can't get out from under this curse-like self-sabotage and realize the promise of our true self. We learn in ACA to get in touch with and feel the pain and grief of the deeply hurt parts of ourselves in order for the true self to blossom. We've avoided this for years, usually unconsciously, and we've suffered from the consequences of this avoidance. We come to see that we won't enjoy the fulfillment of living as our true selves until we face and get free from the roots of the wounded parts from childhood. With our higher power's help and support from our fellow travelers, we practice a gentle and gradual process of peeling the layers of the onion to find the core of our pain and, paradoxically, to find the joy of our true self. It's an organic process, unique to each of us, yet we're supported in a unified approach that integrates the steps, our higher power and our inner child. The affirmation reads, "On this day I have the courage to face what's necessary so I can realize the promise of my true self." Please share, subscribe, like, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be. To remember that you are not alone and that recovery is possible, one day at a time.